Well, darling, there's only one God. Darling, there's only.
Welcome to the Dirty Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Cookie, and today we're going to have a little black girl magic chat, actually. We're going to get into some black hair, black culture, black children as it pertains to hair. And I got the CEO of TwinNation. Really, we got the business besties, Maddloczz and Mookie in the building. And we're gonna teach y'all some things today. All right. How we doing today, ladies?
We are amazing.
Yes. First of all, my question to everybody, how is 2023 treating you thus far?
Pretty good. I don't have no major complaints about it.
Yeah, so far so good. I really can't be too mad for real. I mean, we about to be 30 in June, so
30 this year is really
Can't
exciting.
complain.
I'm ready to say goodbye to my 20s. They were kind of crackheaded.
Wait a minute.
Hold up.
It's kind of crackheaded. It's kind of crackheaded.
Run that back.
Like 20s, like people always make it seem like, oh my gosh, you should enjoy your 20s and life is all this. Like my 20s were kind of crackhead, it was more of a like struggle and learning. Like I tell a lot of people, a lot of us of millenniums didn't learn everything we needed to learn to be out there as an adult. So like my early 20s were trying to make it
things out.
and figure it out. And at 29, I'm like comfortable in my skin. I'm ready to turn 30. I'm ready to say goodbye to those things. And even the people that
came with it.
Like
sure.
anybody that's just ready to just move on and be positive and ready to enjoy life,
You know what I think is so funny about your 20s, because we all go through it, is that people feel so stressed towards the end of their 20s. But that 30s is like this huge transition that nobody prepares you for.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
I think people expect like this big life change once you hit 30 and you realize you're still climbing mountains.
Right.
But the fact
Absolutely.
that y'all are understanding already that like it sounds like some people need to get trimmed, you need to trim the fat a little bit.
Yeah.
That's huge. So
Shout out to my mom, Felicia Wilson.
Big shout out to mom.
Like,
And my mom too.
If it wasn't for my mom was big about that. Like, you gotta drop some people off
Absolutely.
and let them go. And then Mama D, my life coach, she's on here, and going to sessions with her, and also understanding to set boundaries, to let that syndrome, that black woman syndrome, like I have to be perfect, I have to be strong, I have to be those things. And so, especially being in the beauty industry and the hair industry and media industry, it's really hard to always feel like you're supposed to be in the room.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay.
Yes, she be throwing them gems. Yeah.
So we're talking about that today. Beauty standards and black hair. And of course, this is y'all's bag.
Yes.
This is your bag. So I want to know the backstory of what made you decide to go into this industry.
We started out making t-shirts at first. Like
that was the first step.
Kyra's the driver and I'm the planner, and so I used to always come up with schemes. So we've been friends since like freshman year of high school.
Oh.
Her original best friend didn't like me. That's always the joke.
Wait, we got best friend jealousy?
Her original.
Yes, it was bad, child. It was
like
bad.
both of her friends didn't really like me, and so all the way through high school we were friends. We fell out a little bit through adulthood, and then we found out we need each other. And it got to the point she was like, "You've been talking about doing stuff since high school." So we started out doing t-shirts. I still have the press machine and everything,
and the stencils,
and the stencils. And she would just be the production person, and I would go out there and talk in the mark. And then it just got to the point. I love my people, but making t-shirts and black people
wasn't it. It wasn't it. Because people expected too much of us. Like they're almost expecting something like this on a $10 shirt.
And so it was like, it wasn't beneficial. And so I started getting into making bath bombs and soaps and doing different things. And so I kept going back and forth with natural hair. I was at that stage, you're grown. You don't got your mom's stylist anymore. So you got to find a stylist.
Yeah.
And my my hair was terrible. I did the box color dye.
That box dye has a chokehold, girl.
Yes,
I did the quick weave, but ended up pulling my hair out. I want everybody to know every bad hair story. Kyra has always been a hero. Like when
I gotta come through and say today,
my ponytail fell off in the middle of the cafeteria, and Kyra picked it up and put it back on in the bathroom.
I was like, yeah, baby, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna cover it up. We gonna get to this bathroom and we gonna get it together.
And I remember seeing my ponytail drop. Like in slow motion in the cafeteria, in the middle of the cafeteria, right
where
before
all our friends were.
I think it was like junior and senior year.
I think it was junior year.
Yeah, and I remember the 3-piece wig. Like I tried to braid my hair down.
I can never do that 3-piece wig.
My hair looked
She struggled.
My hair looked like a bumpy road in the back in the country, where the old Cadillac. And Kyra pulled me in the bathroom,
and
took
I said,
the wig
"No, ma'am,
off.
let me fix this because this is not it."
So I've always loved hair.
Somebody that fixes your hair is meant to be your sister.
I've always loved hair, but it wasn't always. It wasn't always my thing, but I had the love for it. So I was Kyra's first sew-in.
Yep. My first set of braids.
All of that. So when I started doing my natural hair journey, I just couldn't find anything that would make my hair grow. And I didn't have edges. I'm gonna just be real. I didn't have edges. I came from the era of that clip-in wig that you would do it and you just clip it. And I promise you, my wigs would be so dry that like I would throw them, and they would stay in the same position they were at. And so.
What the fuck?
Like I'm telling you, my 20s were very crackheaded.
Your hair really traumatized you.
Like it really did. And I used to always say, like, there's a reason why I'm going through this struggle. So I met Miss Eve. She was my neighbor. She's the owner of Happy Naps. And
shout out to Miss Eve.
And I knocked on her door and we became friends. She didn't really want to open the door, but we became friends because I was like 23, living in my own apartment in Fort Worth. And I just wanted to be that person to get to know my neighbors and stuff. So
you friendly as hell.
Yes.
She is.
Because I feel like if somebody's robbing your house, like your neighbors should tell you, And I was out there all the way in Fort Worth by myself. So me and Miss Eve got to talking about hair, and she needed the product. And I ended up making a flaxseed gel that lasted for a long while. But then I made the hair crack, just sitting there thinking. And I just made it. And actually my best friend, not my best friend, Bree, our homie, she was there at the house. She's always there when I make stuff. She was there at the house, and I made it, and then boom, the Emerald Dream came to life, aka hair crack. That's what the customers call it. And that's when I gave a jar to my granny, and she was like, "You figured it out." And so that's when I found out that my great-grandmother made hair products. And she sold it all through Shirley Bear Temple in Temple, Texas. But she took it to her grave. And then I made that oil, but it was a body oil. And Kyra's like, "Why don't you just put it on people's hair?" And I was like, "What?" And then there it goes. And then I just started to dig. And I was really big into herbs and mixing stuff and putting stuff together. And then TwinNation went from being a t-shirt company to a hair company.
So there's two things happening here. Number one, the hardest thing for folks is trying to find like a business partner.
Yes.
You were blessed to find a business partner and a best friend in one. Because we see so many people having situations where they like go. I've seen people, my faves, even on social media, like start out with somebody and then something happens and they fall out and they got to find a new business partner or a new podcast host. But it feels like y'all grew up together, so that worked for you. So how does that?
Absolutely.
Over time, like I will never tell people that our story was perfect because like
it wasn't. We had our ups and downs just like every relationship.
We didn't talk to each other for a year, and somebody tried to get us to fight each other, and we ended up talking on Twitter.
Yeah, because it was so funny because I was way in California at the time. She's all the way out here in Texas. And we had a mutual person that we both went to school with. And she came to me telling me, some off-the-wall stuff that regardless of the fact that I hadn't really talked to her for real like that, I was like, yeah, no, that don't even sound like her. Like, I've been knowing her too long. That she don't even move like that. So let me hear her up and see what's really up. And we talked it out, and she was like, yeah, no.
We ended up actually getting cool and trying to fight her.
Yeah.
So that was the
Definitely backfired.
Well,
Yeah.
And it was just the thing about it is that we was like, man, we really just can't do this without each other. And actually, our group started in 4 and it ended in 2.
Yeah.
oh my God, y'all were the Destiny's Child of natural
Yeah.
hair products.
Yeah. She's Beyonce. I'm Kelly Rowland. You know?
So,
Girl.
and it just came out to grow out to be a lot of things. But like Kyra was always with it. Like every time I had a crazy idea, like I can call Kyra and be like, we're gonna do this, and she'll be like, okay, we'll put it together. And she's always been very supportive. Like even and as growing women, our biggest struggle was respecting that, men come into the conversation, women and kids come into the conversation, careers. And so after all that time, like all the people I've been around, Kyra has never told me to wait or tell me to stop.
No.
She's always been like, if you gotta leave me here,
do it.
Go ahead.
Bye. I'm gonna be here when you get back. I'm gonna be here when you get back, baby. I ain't going nowhere.
This is huge because I think the biggest thing for creatives, and most people know that like Issa Rae, she created Insecure is based off of her friendship with her best friend.
Yeah.
And she talked about one time about friendship breakups and how her friend wasn't a creative. She was more corporate and she wasn't really respecting where her journey was going.
Exactly.
So we talk about that because I struggle with it too. Like I don't have as far as my core group, people that have known me forever, the majority of them are not creatives. So it's hard for them to really understand your world, and sometimes they can feel left out or not understand your vision, so not necessarily support it. So how did that work between y'all?
I mean, I'm creative too, but in my own little way. I like to write. I like to, do hair. So
she likes to be behind the scenes.
I do. I'm a behind the scenes person. I don't have to be in the camera.
Ooh,
You feel what I ain't got to be here.
Some folks don't operate that way,
and they don't. But
everybody want to be Beyonce.
I want to be Beyonce.
And the funny thing about it was, I did not want to be Beyonce. I did not want to be Beyonce. I wanted to be in the background. Like I just wanted to be creative. And I had a friend called, her name is Jasmine, the pretty plug. She was just like, we started doing business. We started talking. She's like, you got to get in front of the camera. Yeah. You got to do this. And
these are things that I have been telling her, like, bro, you have to get out there. Like, you can speak you can speak very well, actually. Forget all that. You can speak very well.
Yeah, she does.
And you be knowing what you be talking about.
That's what so many people don't understand. Like, I didn't want to be in front of the camera. Like, I love making content. I help other people make content, and I love editing and all of that. But being in front of the camera brings different type of demons, and at a certain time, I wasn't always ready for
Somebody gets it.
And so
they gonna come for you.
They gonna come for you. People gonna question you. But I always had a strong will of my community and always wanted to do something for it. My grandparents were Omega. My granddad was Omega. He founded the chapel in Temple, Texas. My granddad was an AK, and they always did stuff in the community. They always showed out. They always donated. And so to me, when I was making hair products, I was actually teaching people and doing stuff and helping people on their journey. So that's where Hair Talk came from. Like I was talking to the screen.
Let's get into because you have the Hair Talk every Tuesdays.
Yes.
At 7 p.m., y'all. Every Tuesday, Hair Talk, tap in because we in the world of frontals and, all that good stuff. We got to get back to the basics with our hair. So I was going to ask you, where did that come from?
So it started off with Worst Hair Wednesday. I would come on there every Wednesday and tell you my terrible hair stories, and I had plenty of them. Like, she had put a sewing in my hair, and she was like, just wait for me to come over. And I was like, no, I got it. And she was like, Alicia, do not do this super confident stuff. And I was like, come on, I got it. I cut a hole in the middle of my head. The ponytail, the crooked wig, I cut a braid out of my hair.
I don't know how I be cutting braids out of my head doing doggone crochet.
And so, it just started out telling those stories. It is.
It's a pandemic.
And so I started out doing that, and then I started doing Hair Talk because I had questions. I wanted to know certain things. I wanted to talk about certain things, and I got on Clubhouse and I met Miss Leah, the hair fairy godmother. That's what really sprung it into thing, because I did a couple like shows on Clubhouse and stuff, and she was one of the people that really stick with it. And she's from Louisiana, been doing hair 15, 20 years, and I was like, would you do the show with me? And she was like, you want me to get on live and do? I was like, yeah. And so I called her the hair fairy godmother, and it caught on. And then Kiki Hair Culture. Now, see, I stalked her, and she's watching the live right now.
Come on now.
I had stalked her on Clubhouse, and I was watching how she was doing rooms and she's podcasting. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I was like, hey, you want to collaborate? Like, you want to like do the show and do all these things? And the funny thing about it, I have always been talked about as a big mouth, and that's what's got me in the door every time.
Bestie confirmation face. Bestie confirmation.
Because I did a show before that. It was Maddloczz and Mo, and it was like 3 seasons, successful, and me and my ex co-host didn't always have the same views. And so when I met like Kiki Hair Culture and the hair fairy godmother, it was like they get it. And they encouraged me. They made me always like, they're the anchors. Like Kiki Hair Culture, I would tell Kiki Hair Culture, like, man, we're finna take over the moon, and we finna do this, and we finna do that. And she's like, Alicia, but what about step 1 that you was talking about last week? So I'm the ideal person, but
I'm visionary. I get that.
Yeah,
you gotta have people around you that like, all right, this is big, but let's make some sense out of it.
Yeah, and so when I met Kiki Hair Culture, and then Kitchen Beautician, the magazine came out, an online magazine.
Okay, I saw that.
Yeah, it's something that I've been wanting to do. Is really in the honor of my granny, Dolores Lee Brown. She had every single copy of Jet and Ebony magazine, and I used to read it with her, and I was like, one day I'm gonna own a magazine. I'm gonna do it. So, like, in the passing of her year, me and Kiki Hair Culture, and that's what Candace, she will never know how important she is to me, because she made me keep a promise to my granny.
Give her her flowers now.
And so
you gotta remember the people that put you on.
And Candace is the person that was like, you know what? Yeah, we can do it and do it. And so many people was like, I don't know. Like, people don't really read magazines, or people don't make content and stuff like that. So she was really that person that really stepped out and made sure that we accomplished it. I worked for Dallas Weekly, a Black publication, and they gave me my first shot into Black publication and really trained me. Yeah, so shout out to Mr. Washington and Jessica Washington, because they really gave me my first shot. They really encouraged me. They really trained me. They made me they classed me up. And so
she said they classed me up.
And so, like, being in this industry, I will tell you, I've had plenty of days where I didn't think I belonged in the room, where I felt like it wasn't there. Like, one example, it was the Black Hair Experience, and I went with Lil D. And Lil D is my mentor.
Shout out to Lil D. That's where we met at her birthday party.
Yes. I met her through, actually, I had got Lil D to come to my seminar and speak at my hair lab. And then I kept up with her, and then she worked at Dallas Weekly. And, like, when I say that's my mentor, that's really my mentor. And I got us there. We were everything. And I was like, I was nervous. I was freaking out. And she was like, you're supposed to be here. Like, act like you're supposed to be. You got us here. She's like, I didn't get us here. You got us here. And we were at the grand opening in Arlington and everything. And so the next day, I broke down crying. Actually broke down crying. I was miserable. I didn't know what was going on with me. And I called Mama D, my life coach. And I was like, I don't know what's wrong. And I was like, I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be there, like I didn't earn it.
It's almost like we talk about imposter syndrome a lot on this podcast. And how we play with ourselves. What is it that would make you think? Because, if you've been doing these things since you were a teenager, why would you ever question not belonging in any room when this is not something that you just picked? It's something that picked you. When your friend has to tell you to get in front of the camera, because most people just want to do shit to be in front of the camera. Let's just go ahead and call it a spade a spade.
Right.
But when you're fighting from being in the camera, you just want to be behind. You just want to be impactful. as
Yes.
opposed to popular.
Yes.
I think the issue is it possible that the issue is a popularity standpoint or maybe a certain background or look like. What do you think that is? Because it's something.
I will always say I've always been the chubby girl. Even with being Kyra's friend, I was always treated like the chubby friend.
Okay.
Even when people meet me now, I won't even talk to them. I'm like, well, don't talk to me now, because when we were younger, I was just Kyra's chubby friend. So here we are now. Like, and she knows, like, I'll give somebody the cold shoulder in a minute, because it's like, don't.
And I'm a letter.
And I just
say, tell me shit
and
aloud.
and I literally walk by. But the reason why I was struggling with it at the time, it was because I worked really, really hard, and it was just like, it was weird that I was there and I was experiencing it. And with everything that was going on in my life, like I wasn't with the guy that I am with now, Udon. He's perfect.
She just shout out. We just did a hard launch on the podcast, so does everybody already know who he is? Was this a launch?
He's the guy with the mustache all over my page. He's the guy with the mustache.
Bitch, my nosy ass.
Oh, look him up. He there.
Man, you done got shouted out on a 12-country streaming platform, cuz.
And I'll tell you.
Look,
and I'll tell you about that. But I was with somebody at the time that wasn't really encouraging, that wasn't really focused.
Okay.
And so when I was starting to do things, and like my parents have always been supportive, but they didn't really always get it. And so when I was there, it was just like I just shut down. And that's actually when I started, talking to my life coach, Mama D, because it was a real struggle for me. I didn't understand why I didn't feel those way. I didn't understand because people that tell me that they're proud of me, they don't know how much that means to me. But it also puts like another pin of stress, because I never want you to look bad for believing in me.
You worried about disappointing people.
I've
that
always
have
been,
faith.
because
that's
when
very
you
interesting.
because you have to understand, and I've had a lot of people tell me lately, when you're a person and within a generation that's always trying to connect the generations and make those impacts, you have to be that person. And a lot of times I avoided certain things because I didn't want to be that person. And so when I started making moves and I started doing things, I knew certain things came with it. And so me being in front of the camera, I wasn't always comfortable in my skin. I wasn't always comfortable in front of the camera. I didn't always like the way I looked. And so once that door opened, I knew there was no way of turning back.
You can't.
So after I went to that black hair experience, I was like, oh, I'm here. And like Kyra was like, well, what did you expect? Like, and she was like, eventually, yeah, like Kyra was like,
I have to,
because people don't understand we're both Geminis, but I'm the
Gemini.
emotional.
Well, but we all Gemini. But Jesus Christ, it makes so much sense now.
And I'm the emotional one, and I'm dramatic, and she's not.
No, I'm not.
And
Wow.
so she's always like, I don't know why you do this to yourself, and you know it was coming. So that's why I broke down, and that's why, because I knew certain doors were coming, and I knew certain things were happening. And I don't, like, of course I want to make a living, but I do this for the next black girl.
Let's talk about the next black girl, because we was kind of chopping up about this, about our hair. Of course, we're talking about his aesthetics, black hair,
Yes.
and our childhood, and how, in your younger formative years, that obviously impacts how you look at yourself and what rooms you think you belong in.
Yes.
So one thing we was talking about a minute ago was about punishing black girls or black kids, period, by way of hair. So we got into the video of a young man getting his hair cut, but also there was a video of the biracial girl getting her hair cut. Both for was the little boy allegedly acting up as well?
That's what the video said.
Yes.
I mean, but he was begging and pleading, talking about some, no, but I didn't do nothing. So
you know what? I don't have children. I'm gonna start there. I'm an auntie, so don't shoot me down, because I don't have children. I know I shouldn't be talking, because a lot of time parents like, you ain't got kids, don't talk. This is my thing. This is my thing, and I will always say to black people, we have to understand our past, and we have to stop disconnecting the fact that if a white person did it, it's racist, or it's terrible, or they doing the culture wrong. But then when we do the exact same thing, there's nothing wrong. My thing about shaving a kid's hair is this. If Master came down to the plantation and shaved your head in front of everybody and told you I owned you, you knew. And he told you it was a privilege for you to grow your hair. It was a privilege for you to do it. But then when you turn around and you say it to a kid that is a privilege to grow your hair, that doesn't make sense to me. It's not a privilege to grow your hair. It's a right as a human being. Growing hair is not a privilege. Growing hair is a right as a human being. So if that white teacher at that school cut your kid's hair because it was unruly, and now we have a Crown Act for that exact thing, because that's happened. Yeah. There have been teachers that have cut kids' hair, combed it out, wouldn't let them graduate.
But then home, all of that.
But then when we turn around and tell our child it's a privilege for you to grow your hair, and if you're acting up, you don't have the right to. It doesn't make sense. So to me, as a non-parent, because I'm gonna say that again, I'm just telling you historically, shaving of somebody's head is equal humiliation. That's my thing. So when you take something that has been done to you for centuries and in turn do it to your own people, that's internal racial. It's internal. And so we have to understand where this stuff comes from. You eat soul food because they gave you the ends of everything and you had to make something right. Soul food is not healthy. We all know that. But if Big Mama came in here and cooked it, we're going to eat
We
it.
eating the hog mogs and the chitterlings and the yams and the macaroni and cheese. Yes, we are.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we are.
And so when you bring that up in conversation, that's my thing. Now, I understand, and I said I'm not gonna do that. And I understand. My mom's like, you don't have kids and everything. But when I was like in the 6th grade, a girl got in trouble and her parents cut off her hair, and she tried to kill herself.
Oh,
and ever since I saw that, that is where I'm like, nah. Like, they put plaits all over her head and certain things. Our generation is really big on recording. When you put stuff out there in the middle of the street, you allow us to judge you as a parent, as a human being. And as Black people, we shouldn't be doing that anyway. Because when they sent CPS, it was a woman that cut her daughter's hair.
And ended up getting her daughter
took from her.
Wait, I missed this story, and I think
your
it was thoughts,
the same girl.
As a mother, what your thoughts are on that when you see those videos.
Me personally, I don't like it, but I do have 2 little boys, 7 and about to be 6, and my youngest, he has a real tough time in school with his teachers. So it's almost every day I'm getting phone calls from his school talking about, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. And he's really doing like things that you would expect maybe somebody in middle school or maybe even in high school to do.
Kids are kids.
Kids are kids.
Don't act like kids.
Kids are kids, but I mean, standing on top of tables, sitting over here, hitting on your teacher.
Well, okay, so here's my thing. I feel like teachers, I said this on a video, that I feel like teachers are underpaid.
And they are.
But at the same time, what's going on? Sometimes a kid don't connect with a teacher for a reason. I'm interested in asking questions and doing a further deep dive.
And then that's what I do. But then I always get from the teacher, he's really smart, and whenever I get him to do this, he really appreciates it, and they always, it's something else, and I just still haven't figured that out yet. And I do have him in therapy as well, because I am also a firm believer.
Black mamas.
Okay, I'm a firm believer in that. Like, we have to, do something before I have to sit here and be like, okay, now I have to take even more drastic measures in order to help straighten you out, because I got to do something. I can't have you growing up being a young Black man out here in these streets and something happened to you. Now I'm finna go off and I'm finna burn the city down.
My son's 21. I already know.
And I just feel like when you said people, we have to understand that there is a culture shift that is going on, and we have to understand that if we don't grab a hold of this generation, it might really be lost.
Yep.
No,
And to me, it's just that we as a community have to stop certain things. So I'm not saying, and I would say this to the parent, I'm not saying yes or no to you. I just want you to know the history of it. 1. 2, when you decide to, your granny never stopped whooping your tail with a switch and picked up a camera. Because you want to know why? Because
your mama didn't put down a switch and pick up a camera.
Okay.
And then, because guess what? A lot of us wouldn't be with our parents right now if that was true. And my thing about it, my thing about it is with and there's a situation in Dallas that a baby got took it away for nothing.
One of the girls that was the AFIA Center, which 2 of the ladies of the AFIA Center were guests earlier this year. They were birth justice workers. So yeah, because they just did a home birth. Really, it was pettiness on the behalf of the doctor.
And that's what I'm saying. And as black people, you gotta watch yourself. You have to know what's going on. And then what you don't understand, and this is not to the baby boomers or the well-seasoned people, you have to understand that video is gonna follow that boy.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely right.
Kids are mean.
Very
Kids are gonna talk about you.
ruthless.
They can literally make a fake page and troll you all day long. I had to realize half of the trolls that be trying me is somebody's 13, 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
They mama, I probably was in the same spot with their mama at brunch.
And see, the thing about it is people don't know this, and this is why I love Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga had a page that came out at her that when she was in school that said Lady Gaga, her real name will never be famous. They made a whole page dedicated showing why she would not be famous. What? And so we have to understand the strength in the internet. And a lot of time people don't understand that. So you can always tell me, oh, you're not a parent, you understand. Let me tell you this, but you put it on the internet. So now it's my right.
Be a parent.
Yeah, when you leave yourself out there to be judged, you can't really. I as a parent, I can't imagine. I mean, I record my daughter doing little cute shit, but when she acting up, I'm not
finna
record
that. I'm finna go take her in this room. I'm finna handle her.
I had to handle her before we came in the studio.
See?
So I'm old. There's something you're not gonna get every aspect of parenting, and I think sometimes people do that. Mm-hmm. They want to embarrass their kids. Number one, but they want folks to agree with them.
Exactly.
And it ain't gonna always go that way.
It's
and you want to prove. You want to prove, and this is just the essence of black people. You want to prove to everybody that you got reign on your kids,
which is that's some slave ass shit.
Exactly.
Can we just go ahead and just say what the hell that is?
And so
that's some slave ass shit.
And that's where we have to understand that you gotta know the history if you don't know the history. In Louisiana, there was a law that Creole and black women could not wear their hair, and so they had to wear scarves. And then based just black women just being great like they are, they made it a style and everything. But it was actually illegal.
Black women gonna make something good. And we gonna make it trendy, and the world gonna catch on and try to bottle it up.
Yes, and then it's like you have to understand that, and then also and I'm reading this book. And shout out to all the stylists and everybody's reaching out to me. The beauty shop politics. Actually, it shows you how black people, the hair movement was funded through beauticians, the civil rights movement and the production and everything. And then
the vast majority of things black women have their hand in. We don't give us enough props for how we moved the culture forward because patriarchy and stuff, but black women really nothing moves without us. And we have to acknowledge that.
Yeah. And we have to understand the strength in hair and why it's so important. Today I was finding out that they used our hair to stuff pillows and cushions, and you have to when you go,
4C pillows.
Yeah, 4C pillows. 4C. Wait a minute,
let me know we got some 4C pillows.
And that's what I tell.
That's why it's so soft.
And she said that's why they so soft. I'm done. And see, that's why I tell people. That's why I do hair news, because I go out there and I find those things for you. And you have to understand there's so much politics in black hair. There's so much history and so much grief. And when you don't recognize that, you're just bound to repeat history. A woman told me, if I don't become the woman that I need to be, the next woman cannot be what she needs to be.
your liberation, somebody else's liberation is tied into you walking in your purpose and, shattering that glass ceiling and shaking some tables.
Yep.
Yes.
You need people that, honestly, people that don't think they deserve to be in the room are the ones that the room needs the most. This is what I learned. Because everybody ain't trying to keep it real. Everybody's not trying to educate because we in the land of lace fronts and frontals.
Mhm.
Nothing against y'all. I tried it, baby. I'm just learning. I'm not about this frontal life. So we need to have more conversations. But I got. This is a question I got for both of y'all. What were your thoughts on like the whole having conversations around cancer causing ingredients and relaxers and finding out that a lot of them girls on the perm boxes did not have relaxers, and they all coming out talking about it.
We did an episode about that, and I was like, do you notice how they took your insecurities and sold it back to you? And the fact that all those girls, it was just a hot comb.
One girl who had type 3 hair was like, that was just like water and gel. And I'm like, man, because my shit looked raggedy. We went through all of that, getting
All of that
sores
for
on
nothing.
my scalp, and it still wasn't giving. And it wasn't supposed to give because that was luxurious, natural hair on a box. While we getting our ass, I used to get beat when I wouldn't sit long enough for it to take.
Yes, and the thing about it is fibroid tumors are like the biggest thing in Black women.
Ooh, I had them.
It is it's like fibroid tumors and cysts, and the fact that people don't understand that a lot of those chemicals sink through your scalp, and once they get through the scalp, they go through your body, and there is no such thing as a no lie. And the hair fairy godmother is big on this. There's no such thing as a no live relaxer. There's no such thing as that.
I don't
So,
know that, to be honest with you.
So with those things, and I don't knock you if you still
If
get
you
a
still
relaxer.
get them, do you?
I feel like if you're still getting a relaxer, you need to make sure that you go to your specialist.
Do some more research.
Get your hair updated. People think my mama got a fro or she got locks. My mama is laid and fried and to the side. Okay, my mama still gets her hair cut. She still does all of that, but my mama maintains her hair. My mama I think she's purple right now. Like my mama colors her hair all the time. Like she
You
was
got a
my
liberated, free-spirited mama. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah, my mama was my
Okay.
first hair crush. Like she was my first hair crush. My mama used to do platinum blonde.
Yes.
My mama has been red, purple. She's been every single color, but my mama always kept herself up. So when you decide to use relaxers, you have to understand it comes with it. You have to learn how to read the back of the jar. My saying is, if you can't eat it, you shouldn't put it in your hair. And it's just a simple fact. If you can't
It's
eat
real.
it,
That's real. That's real.
like our products at TwinNation are edible. Like you can actually
Talk
eat
about the TwinNation products. Go ahead and tell us. Break it down.
So the TwinNation products, we got the hair crack to grow your edges back. Our hair crack is a natural hair cream, so it has mango butter that feeds your hair and actually doesn't do buildup, and it has the lemongrass and green tea that's actually cooked into it, so it's a natural green. That's actually our signature. You don't have a jarred hair crack if there's no green at the bottom of it. And then on top of that, we cook. It's like homemade on the stove. People like to call me the dope boy of the year because that's how we push it out. But
Come on, trap hair.
I'm trying to tell you. So all of our products are herby. Like you could eat it. You could fry chicken in that oil.
Look, it makes me go back to our childhood where like chicken would get fried or fish, and then the leftover grease would get put in a pot. Or some little Crisco can. So now you can just take it and put it on your scalp.
Yep. And so that's like that. And that's the thing. And that's what people don't understand. Like certain products don't have your best interest in it. Like my mama was finna pick up Carol's daughter. I was like, we don't know who's making that anymore.
Exactly.
Ooh, I'm so glad you did that. Okay, so I want to know both of y'all's thoughts on like Black-owned companies that we just love and adore selling or bringing in. Yeah, we talk about the Shea Moisture, and most recently, I believe it was Mael. So I kind of want to know what your thoughts are on that. Good, bad?
Black people and products don't have a great relationship. Black people, we can say we support it, but we don't. When you go buy hair products, and I'm gonna really talk about my generation, you want to go buy hair products, you want to throw 3 or 4 products into a bowl and make your own concoction, and then be mad because your hair is falling out.
What it's supposed to do.
But at the same, and that product is not made that way. And then on top of that, we as a community don't understand business, and business goes up and down. So you always catch black people saying, oh, you know that chicken spot down the street, I'll always go eat there. As soon as they close down, that's what you're saying, but I didn't see you 2 weeks ago. We as black people, like, you can say, Alicia, I love your products and everything. I'm not finna make 10,000 units just for 2 people to show up. So it's like the business goes up and down. But we have to understand the truth of it. If you are black owned, you're obligated to tell your community what's going on. And a lot of times people don't do that.
That felt like a little bit of a call out. What's your call? Come on.
I mean, me personally, really and truly, ever since she started making, hair products and stuff, I really and truly haven't looked or really even worried about any other black-owned hair product, because at the end of the day, it's probably not even black-owned no more to begin with. It probably never was to begin with either. So I'd rather just stick with my bestie, keep using her stuff, and call it a day.
Pause. Y'all heard what she just said, right? Ever since her bestie started making products, she really don't be tripping off everybody else like that. That be y'all problem now. I said this on Facebook. Let me get on my soapbox real quick about how folks will get on Facebook and be like, is there anybody that you have people in your backyard that make products and you are not going for it.
Exactly.
But then you want to turn around and cry about black-owned businesses doing X, Y, Z. Maybe that's myself. I mean, I don't be knowing the inner workings of what goes on with these businesses, so I don't say too much. I like to ask people that are really in the industry doing the work what you guys think. Yep. But at the end of the day, it does come down to support.
If you want that product to last, like if you what was that beauty makeup product that was back in the day? They just came back. I forgot who they are. It was black owned. It was like makeup and everything. Let's try to say Jet Magazine. Okay. Like, you love black publications.
Pinky Cole just brought it back. She the first physical copy since 2014.
And I shared
all
it.
All she did was shoot her shot. That woman is a genius.
And so my thing about it is my granny broke down crying, but she had every copy. So times got hard. But see, the thing about it is, and the CEO Jessica Washington said, stop complaining that there's not black voices, and actually go support the black publications that are out
Baby,
there.
I saw that post. She was
going
out.
Yes,
I said, you know what? I love when a boss gets raw. We need people like her, because ain't enough people willing to say, y'all talk a whole lot of shit,
but don't want to come over here and help us.
But you ain't down. You like to complain.
And the thing about it is, and as black people, we are so caught up integrating, inviting everybody to the cookout, that we don't support our own spaces. So why do I care if Walmart doesn't sell black products when I know Target is the biggest company with all black products there? So why would I care what Walmart is doing? Why do I care that Fox 4 News is not covering black problems when Dallas Weekly is covering them on the daily?
You literally got Dallas Weekly.
You literally got Dallas Weekly. Yep. So why do you care? I feel like as black people, we have always been fighting to be in the room, that we don't understand that you could build your own room.
Actually, yeah, we are the room.
People steal from the room,
and it's the truth.
Y'all choking me. Y'all trying to kill me. See?
Let's just be honest.
But no, for real though, because if y'all want better,
stand up.
Let's do better. That's it. That's all. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, support where you are. Pull the mic down a little bit. That looks like it's trying to swallow you whole.
There you go. I was like, I'm still the same height, but I'm still the same height. But that's what people don't understand. That what is the brand, McKellar? Okay, so the biggest problem is that a lot of black people were supporting it, but they got a white content creator to push it. Black people don't understand that when it comes to hair products, let's just talk about white people buy hair products like twice a month. Maybe black people will stretch a jar. Some of y'all got a jar of grease that's been sitting there for 5 years.
Y'all know which one she's talking about. That what was it? The Murphys.
I still deal with Old Faithful. I got some Blue Magic. My daughter got thick
Blue
hair.
Magic,
so I still...
Pink lotion,
Pink
all
lotion,
those things.
yeah.
And it's okay, but you have to understand if you want those products to survive. Like, people forget that 50 cents on vitamin water.
I worked for Coca-Cola. I was a market development manager. It was one of the top selling products. Nobody could have predicted that.
And he
thought
sold it.
outside the box early on, but yeah.
He sold it,
Yeah.
made his money, and then we saw vitamin water go through a couple years of problems. And what people don't understand, that business, being an entrepreneur is like being a crackhead.
You in this crackhead.
Because I want you to understand, because you look crazy to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You will never be understand by it. Like, I have Jasmine, the pretty plug. We always have these conversations. She's like my church friend, too. And I tell her that corporate America will never understand you. Because you look crazy out there. You look like you begging for change.
Mm-hmm.
And they telling you to go get a job. And you like, well, wait.
But I can do this.
But I can change the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do this. And I can do that. And so... with that, it's just it's a different ball game until you sit in those rooms. Like, I've had moments where I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna make hair products no more. I'm just gonna do the show. That's what's building. Da 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 da. I had got $500 worth of orders in a week.
Yep.
And I was sweating. And Kyra's like, see, that's what you get because you should have been
Should
in
have
the
never
kitchen.
stopped. Because I'm over here all at the house with no hair crack, no hydration spray, no oil, no nothing. And I'm like, ma'am, you right up the street, Miss Mama's, where my stuff at? Oh, I'm going to make it. 3 months later, still ain't got nothing. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. Somebody gonna hit you up.
And they hit me hard.
And
she
hit
was-
her tail hard. And I was like, oh, are you tired? Oh.
She went
Where
to
mine's at?
she did a delivery and everything for me because I was
Hold
so
up, you
tired.
be out here delivering.
Yeah.
You literally like the...
Yeah. Like I said, assistant, hairstylist,
She sits up
delivery
with me.
driver. I
we've done-
schedule things. Yeah.
How do they clone you?
It's only one of me physically, but I have like like
That
8
Gemini.
personalities. So
Yeah,
How
that's
are
it.
you able to maintain, like, because we talked about that early on, like being the supportive friend and pushing your friend,
Yeah.
and it doesn't bother you at all, or you don't feel the need, no matter what goes on with her, to like be the face or try to.
No.
Because that cuts a lot of friendship. Like, even with Megan Stallion, I have to bring it up with her homegirl. It
Right.
seems like
Even we talked about that, and I was
went
like,
through that
that's stupid.
with somebody. I went through that with it was 4 of us. I actually went through that.
oh my God, really?
Yeah, like I actually went through that.
Lord.
I actually went through that situation. Like I was
Somebody wanted to be a star.
some there's
Let
this
me be
person I
quiet.
went to school with. Somebody said that some people want to be so famous that they forget that they're not even the one with the talent.
Hello.
And it was
Oh shit! Wait.
Hello.
we started out as 4, and I'm not gonna even be messy. I'm not even gonna say the name. I can feel my mama tapping on my shoulder.
I know, and that's why I'm trying to hold it.
And
too.
she basically I'm gonna tell you something. We trying to find the right way.
we trying to be so,
This is mature. This is mature me.
You remember that one video that was on TikTok where she was talking about I'm trying. It take you that long? I'm trying to find it. Just hold on.
It's
Give me a
just
second. Yeah, it take a minute. It takes a minute.
let me sit. And so
Hold up.
yeah. This is hard. So basically, it got to a point that her life was in a loop, and I was waiting. And I got to a point that I didn't wait anymore. I went to Louisiana. I sold out in 2 hours. And I came back. Everybody's congratulating me. And we actually worked together at the time. And she didn't say anything to me.
Ooh,
And
that
she was like-
silence when you have big moments.
Yeah, and so she was, she was having relationship issues and living with people and going through certain things. And I was that friend. Like, I was her baby daddy at one point in time. I was giving money. I was doing this. I was doing
the
that.
side baby daddy.
And so,
She was the main baby daddy, and I was
'Cause
the
she
side
white-
baby daddy because
she-
I was
that's a
watching
blessing.
the kids
and we were watching the
And
kids.
and putting them to bed and
and,
the bath.
Yeah, before she had kids. And it got to the point where she felt like I owed her. Like, I owed her. Like, oh, you're making all that money. And I was like, You think I'm making money and I'm not, and people don't understand when you make money with a business, you gotta put it back.
Exactly.
You gotta put it back.
So I'm really spending more money than I'm really making.
You know what I'm saying? And so even with that, and so we went through that stage where like I was even the godmother of a child. We went through that stage, and I remember I was going with a marketing coach, and she told me to put like the CEO and the creator of TwinNation. And the same day she texts me. Now we all from Dallas. She texts me. Well, she Cali. We all from Dallas. And she was like, "What's up, CEO?" And I was like, "What's good?" And
wait, like some funny, like trying to be so cute.
And then she was like, "Why would you put that?" She was like, no, she's not. She was like, I'm the CEO. And I said, so let me explain. She was like, I'm the CFO. And I said, let me explain to you the dynamics of business.
Please.
You cannot do nothing without the CEO. I can run TwinNation without you. You can't run it without me. Because if I'm not making the products, you don't have a company. So you being out there at events now, seeing this is the type of friend I am. I always take people.
She was a face, so she would face equated to.
Yeah, like she would be like every time people would see me, they would see her, and then people would ask her questions. She wouldn't be known was, hey, Alicia's out here doing this and this, and she's like, I wouldn't know. And so it got to the point, and I had to explain to somebody else.
Ambassador.
Yeah, like, but she wasn't doing nothing. She wasn't in events. She wasn't at events. She wasn't doing anything. She wanted me to call her. She was like, well, just call me when you're working on TwinNation. I was like, did you feed your child today?
Bitch!
Then that means I'm working on TwinNation if you fed your child today.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to call a grown woman and tell her that I'm doing stuff. If you're trying to build something, if you're trying to build an empire, you do it every single day. I work a 9 to 5.
You definitely don't call and ask a question.
No.
And so it got to the point that because of my image now, I can't really say what I was going to do. But it had got to that point of that.
Girl, we say all kind of shit on here.
Like,
I appreciate you being
Oh, well, I'll say it for her. We was going to beat her ass. Yeah.
Ma'am, if you listen to this, which people that I never think listen really do, just do better in life and just be happy.
And we
that
still want to
you
beat your ass.
respect-
I just want to
and so we went through that stage, and that's when I knew Kyra was that old school loyalty that you can't buy.
It's a requirement. Everybody don't move like you. Everybody don't move. If you ain't willing to put somebody in their place behind me, are we really friends?
There you go. There you go.
Like, what people don't understand, me and Kyra.
She's a blind spot.
Yeah,
Of course.
Like me and Kyra.
I'm back here.
What people don't understand, like me and Kyra fought, we ain't fell out, we ain't, like anything you could think of two Geminis being friends.
We done did it.
Man, two Gemini besties is wild. If two Geminis can last and get through seasons in like a decade or two together, that's a soulmate. Fuck a dude. I mean, men can come in, but men gotta understand, bro. At any moment, you can get this work. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And that's all we've told our current boyfriends. We're just like, look, I know. You know, y'all may hear us talk or even see us interact with each other, and it may look a little different than what you used to.
Like,
okay.
tell the story. Like she was with her ex, and Kyra and me don't sound like girls because she be like, bro. Like she be like, "What's up, bro?"
What's up, bro?
Or whatever. So
What's
he
up,
got.
man?
So we was on FaceTime, and he thought she was talking to a dude.
He
and
really
got
thought I was
so
talking
mad.
to a dude, and he got so pissed. He
And
was
ran
like,
up
"Who
to the
fuck is you
camera."
talking to? And I was like,
And ran up to the camera, and when he saw me, he was like, "Oh," and he was like, "You really be talking to your friend? Like, I promise you, we don't sound like two good. We don't sound like two.
That's two niggas.
It's two niggas talking every single time. Every single time, it's two dudes talking.
That's so damn beautiful, though, because that's what black women need. Black women to just survive.
yes,
Let's be clear.
absolutely.
Anytime you get your heart broke, anytime you, it's a career change or a business goes left, and somebody said this, it's going to be a black woman that's going to lift you up.
Every time.
So why not nurture those relationships and not compete and play your role? Because when a black woman gets on, she going to open the door for everybody that was there, everybody that poured into the business you're going to eat.
That's why I
Everybody
feel
know
so. That's why when people were going after Monique, it was a crazy thing. And there was this interview where she got onto Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg makes less than everybody else on the View. And Monique cussed her out. She's like, "You're the reason why I'm taking this crap. Because if you was to get up and fight, I wouldn't be dealing with this. So now I have to fight. So the next black woman that comes up." And so my thing about it is that and I had a situation this year where I had to tell somebody, they was like, "Do you always gotta bring Kyra?" Yes, the fuck I gotta bring Kyra.
And I'm gonna come every time.
I will bring you everywhere. I wouldn't like my ass without you.
Like I don't.
I
You
almost
need
said
me.
something. I almost said
Right.
something, but I believe that one alone.
But it's like I'm not setting up the table. Kyra has OCD. She's setting up the table, and I'm running around talking to people. Like Kyra is sitting there running everything for me. So the things that I want to do, I tell people right now, I'm Miss Daisy. I don't even drive everywhere because Kyra's the driver, but I plan it. So if I get an opportunity, I take her. Like it's certain steps that we're taking career wise in the next year together because that's how we always been. And so, you know, to have that friendship, I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed to have the friendship that I do. And so when people ask me, like, how do you survive all of this, man? Because my best friend is in the crowd.
And you know what's crazy? Why I can see people questioning it? Because with her having you in her corner, people can't take advantage.
No, they can't.
Because the situations that somebody would normally go through, they can't because you right there. So, I mean, really, you would be a threat to somebody that would try to come in and capitalize
And that's
off where you're going. And
we did an event and somebody was like rude to me and I wasn't paying attention. And Kyra tapped me and she was like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Nah, I didn't hear nothing." And she was like, she's like, "Hey man, don't be talking to my best friend like that. Just because she didn't recognize it, I recognized it." Yeah. And she was like, and I was like, I had went off and I was doing something and she's like, "That's your problem. Sometimes you be super bubbly." Like people think like, but it just depends because people think Kyra like is mean because she don't talk to nobody. But I'm the one that I'm the one with no sense. So it's like I'm the one with no sense. So I don't really try to pay attention to stuff until it's like really paid attention to. So it's
levels to this Gemini shit.
Yeah, like
you gotta have somebody that had the other personality present when you being stupid. Because we all had a moments when we just vibing with everybody. That's how snakes slide
it'll definitely switch between us. I can sit here and be the super bubbly person, and she's sitting here like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
And it's valid if you don't like it. That's the thing. When we don't like something, it's for a reason.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. We have to debate about it. Like, I think one time we were being petty and we was like, "That's your friend." And we had to pull out a list.
Child, I had to pull out a whole paper and pen and write down everybody's name that we, both knew. And I was like, you brought this person. I brought this person. Nuh-uh, you brought this person. No, it was you.
And that's why I tell people, I have a friend that's like, "I'm your best friend too," and stuff. I be like, "Bro, do not let Kyra hear you that." Somebody said that to my mama one time. Somebody said that to my mama. Shout out to my mama. No, somebody was like, "Hey, Miss Wilson, I'm Alicia's best friend. I'll be doing it." She said, "Ooh." She said, "Do you know who Kyra is?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I haven't met Kyra yet." "Yeah, that's Alicia." But she said, "Don't say that when Kyra come around." And my mama said, "Go ahead and go over there because I'm not finna hear that either." Like, it's a certain thing. Like, it's been moments where I had to tell her friend, like, "Let me explain you something, baby. You only hear it because I'm at work."
Right now. Exactly.
You seasonal.
That's it.
You're the flavor of the season.
I'm so permanent.
And it's like we have certain friends that we hang out together, but like, yes, we were like so petty one time. And I was like, I don't even talk to her like that. That's like nah, man, like you brought, because I am the more friendlier person. Like I do pick up friends where I'm going.
Strays.
I pick up
strays.
She's not a fan of that.
Strays.
But she lets you make it.
Yeah, I pick up because I pick up different friends.
I pick up, strays.
Hookers.
Every once
Hookers. Damn.
Oh Lord.
What's happening?
And I'm not gonna say why I said that, but she know why I said it.
We're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna do that.
It's okay though. But I mean, with all the success and stuff like that. So the dope thing is, you ain't gotta worry about a good business partner. You got a sister.
Yes.
You have a sister. What does the next 5 years look like to y'all for TwinNation? Like, what do you envision happening?
Oh, a salon.
A salon.
Her products inset salon.
I'll be going on a hair talk tour. I'll be the magazine will be on a national level. There will be more educational classes.
Yes,
there will be
absolutely.
more veterans that I get to speak to. And I will see more young Black girls and Black boys being proud of their hair.
That part.
Get it. Come on now. Okay, so you got to tell everybody where to find the products and y'all, or not, I mean, however as much access as you want folks to have, tell everybody how to track you down.
You can go to TwinNation 15 on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can click the link in our bio. You can shop with us. We go live every Tuesday to Wednesday night. We always have a veteran on. We have the Hair Talk crew. We have the Hair Fairy Godmother and Kiki Hair Culture on there. We'll actually be having a really big topic that'll be coming up in the next week. You always know where you can get your hair news, your gossip. If somebody's laying down baby hairs or somebody set their hair on fire or a new law came out, I promise you I got the coverage. And if you have questions, and then on top of that, you can also click the link in our bio and you can go to Kitchen Beautician 15, and you can Kitchen Beautician 22, and you can check out the magazine. We have a copy coming out on every month, the 25th and the 26th. It's digital, and you'll see me everywhere. So
in these streets
all the time. Like, I'm that person that's at events. I'm always there. I do work with Dallas Weekly. Thank you for them. But I will always be in your face.
She ain't going nowhere.
No, now that I'm here, I'm here.
Get used to it and understand that every room that you step in, you belong in, and even rooms that you ain't been in yet, that's your space as well.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
space, bold Black woman. So we're going to have this conversation again. Y'all just need to know they're coming back.
Yes.
Y'all know how I am about part twos and following up. What I will tell you about this platform, when you say you're going to do something, it has to come to fruition. It's going to come to fruition. We've seen it happen with every guest that's come on here. So, with that being said, it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Follow up with the anniversary. So, I want to thank y'all for joining me today. Make sure you follow the ladies. Make sure you're nourishing your hair, and that when you are wanting to invest in Black products, invest in them. Don't complain. We got options out here, and they are here locally in Dallas. So please stop playing and get you a bestie like Mookie. So whatever we in right now.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. Where applicable, wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance. When you get a free moment, please remember to clean out your dirty bag. Till next time.
Well, darling, there's only one God.